My name is Mitch Fisher, and this is Grand Island's newest podcast show, the Good Life Podcast. I'm starting this show because there's definitely a need for real, authentic conversations. And the reality about this show, I really want to make this known. It's going to be Grand Island, Hastings, Kearney. It's going to be the whole 308. It's going to cover a large area geographically. So this show is going to feature conversations with entrepreneurs, community leaders, even local celebrities. Now, I actually wanted to start this show because, again, I think there's a need for long-form conversation. We know that long-form conversation, you can really get to know people. I think there's a lot of people in this area, in this community, in the Tri-Cities that are worth getting to know and spreading their stories and getting to know them on a deeper level. I actually had this idea for this show a little over a year ago, like a year and a half, 2 years ago. And it was before I even moved back here. So a little bit about me. Again, my name is Mitch Fisher. I'm from Grand Island, Nebraska here, and I grew up here. I actually went to high school and graduated from Grand Island Northwest. I did go to a year at Grand Island Senior High, so I got to experience both. I met my wife in high school. We both went to college in Lincoln. I went to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. She went to Nebraska-Wesleyan. We got married almost 3 years ago, and then we moved to Omaha. So we were in Omaha. She was doing OT school, and we decided, after living there for 9 months, we were actually expecting our first kid, and both of our parents, our family's from here. We sat down and we said, hey, let's move back to Grand Island. Let's move back home. And it was a long, it was a lot of conversation. It was a prayerful process, but we decided, let's do it. That'd be fun. We want to be closer to family, having our first kid, who ended up being a girl, born a year and a half ago. So we moved back to Grand Island almost 2 years ago, and we're super, super excited to be back. We got to experience, Lincoln and Omaha. We went to school there. She's still in OT school, but we wanted to be back home. And in moving back home, it was fun because we knew the area, we knew people here, and but really we both kind of realized, yes, we're home. How can we invest more in the community? How can we do more in the community? How can we be a part of something special here? So again, before you even move back, this idea of this podcast was on my mind. I was thinking about it. And it's finally coming to fruition. So again, the goal of this show is to have those long, in-depth conversations with the people in this community in the Tri-Cities and throughout Nebraska, just to really get to know them. I've always been passionate about this form of media, so I actually went to school in Lincoln for advertising and public relations. So I did a lot of content. I did a lot of internships on specifically kind of focusing on social media content and content creation. So with new format, this new media of podcasting being a huge deal, I wanted to dive in and do it. So thought about doing this for a while. I've got a lot of encouragement from friends and family. And here we are. This is episode 1, officially the introduction episode of this podcast. So the goal here, I want to tell you a little bit about me, tell you about what you can expect from this show, because I think this show's going to be really interesting to all of you in this community and in the Tri-Cities and even throughout Nebraska. So what you can expect, these are going to be very long form conversations. They're going to be about an hour or so with, again, it's going to be entrepreneurs, it's going to be business people, community leaders, and local celebrities. And the idea behind it is to get a long form conversation, get to know the person. This podcast will be on every major podcasting platform. So the main ones, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. But we're also going to do a lot of social media content with this because we know everyone likes to consume content in different formats, whether it's long form or short form, whether it's video or just listening to audio. And we've got a lot of great interviews lined up here. So we're introducing it now. The interviews are coming in the next month. We're going to be doing a lot of interviews we have a few guests locked in right now. And then from there, we will start producing the show more regularly. So what you can expect is kind of a bi-weekly cadence, so about 2 a month. And again, this is going to be just a fun way to get to know people in the community, and a fun way to play with this new medium, because the reality is a lot of us are on social media and we consume content in different ways. So I want to be able to speak to that at a very local level in the Tri-Cities. A little bit more about me too, just so you know who I am, because I'll be interviewing the guests. I guess I could consider myself, kind of a young creative. So again, I grew up here. We moved to Lincoln, Omaha, came back about 2 years ago. My wife and I are high school sweethearts. So we had our first daughter, our girl, in July, a year and a half ago. So it was 2023. She's in OT school. I'm a work from home guy. So I work from home here in town. And so interestingly, I was born in Holdridge and moved to Kearney when we were younger in elementary school. Spent a lot of time there. And then my family and so my dad and mom moved us here in, it was like 2012 or so. So I spent a lot of, middle school, high school here in Grand Island. And I loved being a part of this community. It was just the right size for us. I feel like I was given a lot of really great opportunities here. Met a lot of good people who care about me, invested in me, wanted me to do well. That led into, going to school in Lincoln, making a lot of good connections. I did some fun internships. And again, a lot of my focus over time was advertising, was marketing, was social media content, things like that. So my wife and I got married and spent some time in Omaha. And again, we love being over there, but we wanted to be back here in the Tri-Cities, here in Grand Island, where we know a lot of friends and family, and really just invest in this area. So that's a little bit about me. I'm 26 years old. Again, we have a lot of fun guests coming up, so I won't spoil any of them right now, but we're booking interviews right now. So number one, if you want to be a guest or think you'd make a good guest, you're more than welcome to reach out to us. I'll put some contact info here on the episode, on the video as well. We would love to have you. Another thing that I want to mention that I'm very thankful for, I want to give a special shout out and thank you to Scott Reef and Innate Concepts in Prairie District. So this is being filmed in the Prairie District of Grand Island. I actually used to drive by here every day on the way to school and elsewhere. My parents live very close here. And so coming back to Grand Island, the other thing I realized, there's so much going on. There's all these new developments, lots of cool things happening, as you've all seen. There's a lot to talk about and a lot going on around here. And this is one of them, Prairie District. So I actually talked to Scott Reese a couple months ago, met him and was able to kind of see what's going on here at Prairie District, specifically Legacy 34 Apartments. So we're in the clubhouse of Legacy 34 Apartments. And so I want to let you know, if you are a young professional or whoever you are looking for a home and maybe looking for an apartment in Grand Island, there is availability here at Legacy 34 in Prairie District. Talking to Scott, it was so cool to hear kind of his vision for this place, because it's kind of like a mini Disneyland. There's Barista's Coffee House, there is Ball's Sports Bar coming in, some other commercial real estate, some businesses moving in here. Obviously lots of apartments. He did say there's availability if you're looking for a place to live and kind of grow and thrive in Grand Island. But then there's also housing coming. So they're building houses on a lake over here. So I do want to mention that because I'm very thankful for being able to use this space. I'm excited about this place because I'm a young professional in Grand Island. I'm always looking for opportunities. I'm growing a family here now. We're expecting our second kid here in 2 months from tomorrow. So with that being said, I'm looking at Grand Island as a place to really dig deep into and invest in it. And I want this to be a good place for my family, to raise my family. So I'm committed to making this a special town, a special area. But I think the Tri-Cities are all involved in that. And that's why we will be interviewing people from Hastings, Kearney, and Grand Island, and outside of that. This is very much going to focus on this pocket of the state, or this area of the state, where there's a lot of good things happening. But those stories aren't always being told, especially in a long form way. So we are at Prairie District. We are at the clubhouse here at Legacy 34. But thank you, Scott, for being so generous to let us be here. I did want to mention that. So again, we are very excited to start the show. This is just episode 1, just introduction. That'll be enough yapping for me. From here on out, this is the most talking I will do. We're going to interview a lot of really cool people. This is going to be just a really great opportunity to build community, build connections, get to know the people in this area. So if you want to stay tuned, stay updated, wherever you're finding this, whether you're finding this on a short form video, long form video, subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform, give us a follow. We will keep you in the loop on when these episodes start to arrive. We want to record a good handful first. We're going to get these out. But if you have questions, DM us, email me. I'll have my contact info as well. But please, reach out, ask questions. If you want to be a guest, let me know. We'd be happy to chat. But that's how you keep in the know. We will let you know when episodes are out in those conversations. So thank you for listening. I'm excited for this journey. And let's grow this area. Let's really invest in this area. Appreciate you even just taking the time to listen. So